Okay. Now let's look at the next question. A block B is pushed momentarily along a horizontal surface with an initial velocity of v. If mu is the coefficient of sliding friction between B and the surface, block B will come to rest after. That means somebody introduced a velocity v to this block and this block kept moving. But there was a friction force also stopping this block from moving. See? If I push this block, if I give some velocity to this block will move this much distance and stop. That means there is an acceleration in this direction caused by this friction force. And when the body is sliding over one surface to other surface, the full value of friction force comes into action, which is mu n. And from out here, if we draw the FBD, upward is n, downward is mg, and full value of friction force gets applied out here, which is equals to mu n. Why? Because the body is slipping. Okay, it is not attempting to slip; it is successfully slipping. That means, or is equals to mu mg. Okay. Or this mu mg, this force of mu mg will cause an acceleration in this direction, or mu mg is equals to ma. Or acceleration in the left direction is equals to mu g. Okay. Acceleration in this direction is equals to mu g. So we apply v is equals to u plus at. Final velocity when this block stops is 0. Initial velocity is given as v plus, okay, acceleration is minus mu g. Why? Because whenever velocity and acceleration is in opposite direction, we take one to be positive, another to be negative. I taught you in kinematics, okay, whenever they are in opposite direction, it is always better to use convention, okay, into t. Or from this, t comes out to be v by mu g. Okay, so our correct option is option number A. Now, next question. A block of mass m is in contact with cart C as shown in figure. Okay. The coefficient of static friction between the block and the cart is mu. The acceleration alpha of the cart that will prevent the block from falling satisfies. That means what is happening out here? This block is accelerating towards right, okay, and this mass is being held out here with the help of friction force. Have you seen the Spider-Man movie? What is his name? The hero tries to pull back the train with some web. Okay, so why was the hero not falling down? Okay, that was because the friction force. Suppose this was your Spider-Man. The friction force between the train and the Spider-Man, and the gravity forces was balanced. See, this was your Spider-Man, this was the train. The train was moving, okay, and the Spider-Man was not falling down. Why? Because the friction force between this surface, between the train and the back of his Spider-Man, was preventing him from falling down. Okay, so this was it. Now, how do I draw out the forces? I know friction forces is equals to mg, but what is the value of this friction force? The maximum capacity of this friction force is equals to mu n. Okay, we know that. But how to find mu or n? Okay, how to find the normal? How to find this normal reaction force out here? Okay, so what is happening out here? See, when we change the observer from here to observer around here, okay, there will be a pseudo force in this block acting in this direction. And this pseudo force is causing this normal reaction force. But now you can say, sir, what happens when you don't change the observer? If you don't change the observer and keep the observer out here only, okay, then what happens is this normal reaction force is caused by the acceleration. This normal reaction force is caused by the acceleration of this block. Okay, this person out here will see this block accelerating. Okay, and this normal force will be equals to m into a. Or if you shift the observer on top of the train, seeing this hero, okay, hero of Spider-Man movie, I think I forgot it. Okay, fall down. Okay, the pseudo force acts in opposite direction, and the maximum value of the pseudo force is mass into acceleration in opposite direction, into acceleration in opposite direction. So let's write down the horizontal component of forces. N minus ma is equals to 0. Why? Because is this block moving anywhere with respect to this person? No. That's why N is equals to ma. Now can we substitute this N out here? Or mu friction, or the maximum value of friction force is equals to mu ma. Maximum value of friction force becomes mu ma. So the acceleration this train needs to continue so that this Peter Parker doesn't fall off. Okay, Peter Parker. Yeah. So this Spider-Man doesn't fall off. Okay, is equals to mu ma. So according to this observer, mg minus mu ma is equals to 0. Okay, or m gets cancelled, or a should be g by mu. Okay, so a should be greater than g by mu, so that this person doesn't fall down. Okay, what happens when a is lesser than g by mu? Okay, when a is lesser than g by mu, what happens is this ball moves very slowly, or this train moves very slowly. The normal reaction force or the pseudo force decreases. Therefore, this normal reaction force decreases. When this normal reaction force decreases, this maximum value of friction force also decreases. Sorry, the friction force also decreases. And when this friction force decreases, the mg takes greater power and this person falls down. Okay. So let's read the next question. A block of mass 10 kg is placed on a rough horizontal surface having coefficient of friction mu is equals to 0.5. If a horizontal force 100 Newton is applied to it, then the acceleration of the block will be. Okay, this is a simple straightforward question. A block is clapped on the ground. The mass of this block is 10 kg. Okay, coefficient of friction in the surface is given as 0.5. A horizontal force of 100 Newton is applied out here. Okay, and what is the acceleration of this block? When the horizontal force is applied, an equal and an opposite friction force will start opposing. Now what is the maximum value of this friction force? Maximum value of this friction force is mu n. So down here is gravity force and up here is normal reaction force, and we know that normal reaction force is equals to gravity force. So the maximum value of friction force is equals to mu mg. Okay, or is equals to 0.5 into mass is 10 kg into g is 10, or is equals to 50. Okay, so when 100 Newton is applied towards right hand side and the maximum capacity of friction force is 50 towards left hand side, that means there is a net force of 50 Newton towards right. There is a net force of 50 Newton towards right. Okay, or 100 minus, let's draw out the 100 minus Fr, which is equals to 50, is equals to m into a, or 10 a, or a is equals to 5. Okay, when this force or 100 Newton exceeds the maximum value of mu n, that means the blocks begins to move. Okay, what happened if this block was, or this 100 Newton, instead of 100 Newton out here it was 10 Newton, then the value of friction forces would also be equals to 10 Newton. Okay, as soon as this 100 Newton or this external force goes above 50 Newton, this block starts to move. Okay, because as soon as this force exceeds beyond mu n, there the value of friction force stays as mu n. Okay. Now let's read the next question. Starting from rest, a body slides down 45-degree angle in twice the time it takes to slide down the same distance in absence of friction. The coefficient of friction between the body and the inclined plane is. This question is nothing, it will seem difficult because it is a combination of kinematics and dynamics. Okay, but we'll do one at a time. Okay, case 1, absence of friction. Okay. Body was sliding down. This was theta. Okay, this was the block. Okay, and it moves this distance, or this is s, in time t1. Okay, in time t1. So in order to move this distance, there was some acceleration a1. Okay, so now let's draw the FBD or free body diagram. mg sine theta, where theta is the angle of inclined plane. Out here mg cos theta. In this direction there is no force. Why? Because friction is not present, and out here there is normal reaction force. Okay, now let's find out in horizontal component of acceleration, or in this component of acceleration, we can say mg sine theta is equals to mass into acceleration in that component, or m gets cancelled, or a is equals to g sine theta, where theta is equals to 45 degree, or g sine 45 is equals to a. Sine 45 is nothing but 1 by root 2. Okay, or a1, or acceleration without friction, is equals to g sine 45. Okay, now okay, this was 45 degree, this was the block, this was s, or total distance. Our a was g sine 45, a1 was g sine 45, and the time taken to reach the block from here to here, or to cover s distance, is equals to t1, is equals to t1. So applying the equation of motion, s is equals to ut plus half at square. Okay, or u is nothing but 0. Why? The block started from rest. The block started from rest. So s is equals to half, a is nothing but g sine 45, g sine 45, and the time taken was t1 square, or t1 can be written as under root of 2s by g sine 45, g sine 45. Okay. Now let's write down case 2. Case 2. When friction is applied, or when friction is considered. When friction is considered. Okay. The same plane, okay, angle 45, the block is kept out here, okay, and it slides down the same s distance but with time t2, and in the question given was this time t1, or this t1 was twice time, sorry, this time t2 was twice the amount of time taken t1. Okay, and here is some acceleration a, suppose a2. Now what is the value of a2? We found out by free body diagram. Out here mg sine 45, out here mg cos 45, out here n, normal reaction force, and mu n, and mu n is nothing but mu mg cos 45. By now I am directly substituting mu n by mu mg cos 45. Okay, but you all do it after a little bit of practice. Okay, so horizontal component of reaction forces, or horizontal component of equation. I am writing down the equation on this side. Okay, mg sine 45, mg sine 45 minus mu mg cos 45 is equals to mass into acceleration in this component. Okay, acceleration in this component, or A2. This m and this m gets cancelled. Or g sine 45 minus mu g cos 45 is equals to A2. Okay, or g sine 45 minus mu g cos 45 is equals to A2. G sine 45 minus mu g cos 45 is equals to A2. Now leaves a property. Okay, I am using, if you don't do this next step, then your answer will come as same. If you do this next step, then also your answer will come as same. Okay, I am just doing the next step because it will be much more shorter. Okay, I know that sine 45 is equals to cos 45. Why? Because I know that sine 45, cos 45, tan 45 and cot 45 all are same. Okay, sec 45, cosec 45. In 45 degree angle, every values come as same. Okay, sine 45 is 1 by root 2, cos 45 is also 1 by root 2. I know this, that's why I can substitute this cos 45 by sine 45. If you don't substitute, then also your answer will come same. Okay, you will do it by not substituting it. Okay, or out here, g sine 45 1 minus mu is equals to A2, or g sine 45 1 minus mu is equals to A2. This is the value of our A2. Okay. Now from equation of motion we know that S is equals to ut plus half at square. Okay, this S is the same distance, this S and this S are same. Okay, acceleration is different and the time taken is different. So out here acceleration is A2 and A2 is nothing but g sine 45 1 minus mu. Okay, so when you substitute A2 by g sine 45, what happens? This becomes 0, or S is equals to half g sine 45 1 minus mu T2 square. Okay, or T2 is equals to 2S by g sine 45 1 minus mu under root. I am repeating once again. Okay, this I know that cos 45 is equals to sine 45, that's why I substituted out here. You can take cos 45 and continue the equation. Out here, if you take cos 45, your equation will be very lengthy. Okay, that's why I didn't do it. If you want to do it, you will go ahead. Okay, now the next part of the question is where the trick applies. The question says T2 is twice of T1. See, okay, inclined plane, the time starting from rest is twice the time taken in slide down the same distance in absence of friction. That means the time taken to slide down in friction is twice the time taken to slide down without friction. So T2 is 2 times T1. Okay, or we substitute T2 by 2S g sine 45 1 minus mu. Okay, is equals to 2 times T1. What is T1? T1 is under root of 2S g sine 45. Under root of 2S g sine 45. So when we square both the left hand side and the right hand side, we get 2S by g sine 45 1 minus mu is equals to 4. 2 square of 2 is 4 into 2S by g sine 45. So this gets cancelled by this, 2S gets cancelled by this, or 1 minus mu is equals to 4. Or I am writing this up. Okay, 1 minus mu is equals to 1 by 4, or mu is equals to 1 minus 1 by 4, 3 by 4. So 3 by 4 is nothing but 0.75. Okay, 0.75. 4 7s are 28. 4 5s are 20. Okay. So let's do the next question. So now let's start with the new question. Consider a car moving along a straight line in a horizontal road with a speed of 72 km per hour. If the coefficient of static friction between the tires and the road is 0.5, that means a car was there in a road. Okay, the coefficient of friction between the car and the road is given by 0.5. The shortest distance in which the car can be stopped, that means it was going with some velocity of 72 km per hour, and this speed is given in kilometer per hour, so we have to convert this into meter per second. How do we convert 72 km per hour into meter per second? 72 into 5 by 18. 18 4s are 72 and 5 4s are 20. Our velocity was 20 meter per second. This velocity of 72 km per hour was converted to 20 meter per second. Okay. Now see, since this block is already slipping, that means full capacity or maximum value of friction force gets applied out here, which is equals to mu n. Okay, and the mu n is given by, see, out here gravity force acts on this block and there is a normal reaction force by this ground on this block. So from this vertical component we can easily say that n is equals to mg. From the vertical component of force we can easily say that n is equals to mg, and when we substitute this n is equals to mg out here, we get maximum value of friction force is equals to mu n. Mu is given by 0.5. 0.5 into n. N is given by mg. M is mass of the car is, I think we don't know, and acceleration due to gravity is 10. Okay, our maximum value of friction force is 5. 0.5 into 10 is 5 into m, where m is the mass of this car. M is the mass of this car. Now see, this force of 5m, okay, will cause an acceleration in this direction, and by Newton's law, force, from Newton's second law, force which is equals to 5m is equals to mass into acceleration. So this m and this m gets cut, or acceleration in opposite direction is 5 meter per second square. So this car or this block will accelerate with 5 meter per second square in this direction. That means it is slowing down the velocity in this direction. Okay, 5 meter per second square. This type of slowing down of velocity is also called retardation. Whenever velocity and acceleration are in the opposite direction, retardation takes place, or the velocity slows down. Okay, acceleration is nothing but change of velocity, rate of change of velocity. Okay, so A comes out to be as 5 meter per second square. Now the question says the shortest distance which the car can be stopped. That means we can apply three equations of motion. V square is equals to u square plus 2as. Final velocity when the car is stopped is 0. Initial velocity is 20 and u square is 20 square. A is nothing but minus 5. Why? Whenever velocity and acceleration are in the opposite direction, always assume a coordinate system. I assume right side to be positive, left side to be negative. Okay, and S we have to find out in the question. The smallest, the shortest distance in which the car can be stopped. Or substituting 0 is equals to 20 square. 20 square is nothing but 400 minus 2 into 5, 10 S, or S is equals to 40. So our correct option is option number. Okay. Now calculate the acceleration of the block and trolley system as shown in figure. The coefficient of kinetic friction between the trolley and the surface is 0.05. That means coefficient of friction out here is 0.05. G is equals to 10 or acceleration due to gravity is equals to 10, the mass of the string is negligible. No other friction force exists. That means you have to calculate the acceleration of the block. So whenever you are solving free body, determine the direction of acceleration. If this will be accelerating A downwards, this will be accelerating with A towards right. Now draw FBD. This is a 10 kg block. A string is pulling to the right hand side. Okay, and since the string is pulling, there is a friction force because this trolley is trying to slip over this surface. Okay, and this friction force will act in the direction so that it opposes the slipping. Okay, or mu is equals to mu n. Okay, and this is the acceleration. Okay. For the 2 kg block, gravity force will be acting, or 22 into 10, and T will be acting, tension will be acting upwards. Since the wire is same, this tension and this tension will be same. Okay. Since the mass of the string is negligible, so you have to calculate the acceleration. Okay. So downward is positive, upward is negative, right is positive, and left is negative. Okay, left is negative. So we start with this body. T minus mu n is equals to mass into acceleration. What is n out here? What is n out here? See the vertical component. N downward is mg. So from the vertical component, can we say n is nothing but mg? So T minus mu into mass of this block 10 into g is equals to mass into acceleration. Mu is given by 0.05. See, mu is given by 0.05. Or T minus 0.05 into 10 is equals to 0.5 into g. G is nothing but given as 10. So this comes as, let me write it as full. Okay. Mu is 0.05 into 10 into g is given as 10. See, g is given as 10 is equals to 10a. Okay, 0.05 into 10 is nothing but 5. Okay, T minus 5 is equals to 10a. This is the equation we get from this free body diagram. Okay, now let's check for this free body diagram. Upward is negative, downward is positive. So 20 minus t is equals to 2a. Okay, 20 minus t is equals to 2a. So this is our equation B. So when we add these two equations, 20 minus t is equals to 2a, which gives us B. So if we add these two together, t and t gets cancelled. 20 minus 5 is equals to 15. 20 minus 5 is equals to 15, and 10 plus 2 is equals to 12, or A is equals to 15 by 12. A is equals to 15 by 12. 3 5s are 15, 3 4s are 12, or 5 by 4, which is equals to 1.25 meter per second square. Okay. Now let's read the next question. A block of mass m1 rests on a horizontal table. A light string connected to it passes over a frictionless pulley at the edge of the table. From its other end, another block B of mass m2 is suspended. The coefficient of kinetic friction between the block and the table is mu. When the block A is sliding on the table, the tension in the string is. That means, what is this question saying? This question is saying nothing but there is block out here, okay, and there is another block out here. This is the arrangement. Okay, this mass was m1, this mass is m2. Okay, and out here a friction force is acting. There is a friction between this surface and this table. Okay, so when the body accelerates downwards, okay, what is the tension? What is the value of tension in this table? What is the value of this T? This is the question. So similarly, we follow the same process, draw the FBD. So this is the FBD of M1, tension force, friction force. Okay, when the body just begins to slip or is already slipping, okay, is already sliding, that means full value of friction force gets applied out here. Full value of friction force is mu n. Okay, and n from here I can easily say by now that n is equals to m1g. Okay, this n is equals to m1g. So I'm not making it cumbersome, so I'm replacing this mu n by mu m1g. Okay, just to make it a little bit cleaner. Acceleration I assumed it to be in this direction. Okay, and similarly for m2, if this body is accelerating towards right, this body will be accelerating towards down. Okay, so a m2g and upward is tension force. Now there is an important thing that I have to say. Achha, there is no important thing. The next process is as in the coordinate system. Coordinate system, downward is positive. The trick is always give the direction of acceleration as positive. Okay, so obviously downward positive. I assume by now that you know the coordinate system. Okay, downward is positive because acceleration downward is positive, upward is negative, then right is positive and left is negative. Okay, I assume that you all know that I am taking this convention. Okay, so let's draw the FBD of first block or M1 block. T minus mu M1G is equals to M1A. This is from block A or block this block. Okay, let's draw the FBD of this block now. M2G minus T is equals to M2A. Okay, now when you add this to M2G minus mu M1G is equals to M1A plus M2A. I think M2A is not visible right here, so I'll write it out here. Okay, M2G minus mu M1G is equals to M1A plus M2A. Or if we take G common on the left hand side, M2 minus mu M1. Okay, and if you take A common on the right hand side, we get A into M1 plus M2, and we shift that M1 plus M2 on the left hand side is equals to A. So our value of acceleration came out as G into M2 minus mu M1 divided by M1 plus M2. So our correct option is not this. Why? The question is asking for tension. See, the tension in the spring. This is the category of silly mistakes. 60% of your question is identifying the question. 60% of the time you won't be able to identify the question. 35% of the time you won't be able to remember the formulas. And 5% of the time this error happens. And this is one of those 5%. Okay. They are asking for the tension. So we obtain the value of acceleration. Now take this equation B again. M2G minus T. M2G minus T is equals to M2A. A was, we obtain the value of A as G into M2 minus mu M1. Let's copy paste the value of G. So we copy pasted the value of G. Okay, out here. So acceleration is nothing but G into M2 minus mu M1 by M1 plus M2. So acceleration goes to G into M2 minus mu M1 by M1 plus M2. Okay. So we take the T to the right hand side and bring M2 into A to the left hand side. So M2G minus M2 into G M2 minus mu M1 by M1 plus M2 is equals to T. Okay. Is equals to T. Or T is equals to, can you multiply this M1 and M2 to the left hand side? with m2g. Can we take the LCM? Okay, so m2 into m1 plus m2g minus m2g, m2 minus mu m1 by m1 plus m2 by m1 plus m2 is equals to t. Okay. Now let us take m2g common. M2g common out here. Okay. Or m2g m1 plus m2 minus m2 plus mu m1 by m1 plus m2. I am just solving the equation. Okay, nothing more, nothing less. This was the acceleration. I don't need the acceleration now. I am rubbing this. Okay. Now see, this plus m2 and minus m2 gets cancelled. Okay, plus m2 and minus m2 gets cancelled. Or m2t is equals to m2 m2g m1 plus mu m1 by m1 plus m2. Now see, can I take m1 common from here? See, m1 plus mu m1. So if I take m1 common from here, what do I get? m2 into m1 into g. I took the m1 common. 1 plus mu. See, I took this m1 common from out here and out here. Okay, by m1 plus m2 is equals to t. So our correct option is option number C. Okay, m1 into m2, 1 plus mu g by m1 plus m2. Now let us do the next question. The coefficient of static friction mu s between block A of mass 2 kg and table as shown in figure. Okay, what would be the maximum value of block B so that the two blocks do not move? The string and the pulley are assumed to be smooth and massless. Okay, this string is smooth and massless. Okay, what would be the maximum value of block B? Maximum mass value of block B. That means what is the maximum value of D? What is the maximum value of this block so that this block does not slip? Okay, and the coefficient of static friction is given out here. Coefficient of static friction is given as mu is equals to 0.2. Mu is equals to 0.2. Okay, so let's draw the FBD. This is block A. This is block B. Out here tension forces T. Out here tension forces T. So tension forces, and in the opposite direction friction forces. Okay, block A, and block A is of mass 2 kg. See, 2 kg, block A of mass 2 kg. Okay, now, and when it is just starting to accelerate, that means acceleration is equals to 0.00001, or this can be written as acceleration is equals to 0. Okay, just starting to accelerate. Why? Because I need the full value of maximum value of friction force when the body is just starting to slip. Only when this T, only when the value of this T overcomes the maximum value of mu s into n, then only this block can start slipping. So at the initiation of slipping, this T would be equals to, or T minus mu s would be equals to mass into a little bit of acceleration or very small amount of acceleration. Okay, from the vertical component, we already know that N, or normal reaction force, is equals to mg. See, okay, so I am substituting this N by mg. So force gets substituted by mu s mg. Understood what I did out here? The maximum value of force was applicable because the body just started to slip. Okay, and maximum value of friction force is given by mu s into n. From the vertical component of force, we get N is equals to mg. Okay, now I don't know the mass of this object, but I do know there is gravity force acting out here and tension force acting out here. And since this is accelerating towards right with acceleration 0, this will be accelerating down with acceleration 0. Okay. So, from this equation, from equation of this diagram, T minus mu s mg is equals to 0. Okay. From this equation, from equation of this body, mg minus t, mg minus t, sorry, this one is not 2, this one is 2, because the mass of out here, the mass out here is 2 kg. Okay, the mass out here is 2 kg. Okay, and the mass out here is m kg, because we don't know. Okay, is equals to 0. Now when we add these two equations, mg minus mu s into 2g is equals to 0. G gets cancelled, or m is equals to 2 into mu s. What is the value of? What is the value of mu s? Mu s is 0.2, or mass of block B, so that the block just started to slip, is equals to 0.4. Okay, so correct option is option number D. Let's read the next question. A system consists of three masses m1, m2 and m3 connected by a string passing over a pulley P. The mass m1 hangs freely, okay, and m2 and m3 are on a rough horizontal plane. Okay. The coefficient of friction is mu. Okay, the coefficient of friction out here is mu. The pulley is frictionless and the negligible mass and of this pulley is frictionless and of negligible mass. Mass of this pulley is equals to 0. So normally in Newton's law of motion, whenever you deal with free body diagram, it is always assumed that this string or this rope is massless, this pulley is massless. Why are you assuming such assumption? This will learn in rotational mechanics. But for now, in Newton's law of motion, whenever nothing is mentioned about the rope or the pulley, assume them to be massless. Okay. Now let's read the question. The downward acceleration of m1 is, that means they are asking us the downward acceleration of m1. They are asking us the downward acceleration of m1. By system of observation, or by observing, we can easily say that if m1 is accelerating down, this m2 will be accelerating towards left and m3 will be accelerating towards left. Okay. The mass of three blocks, m1 is equals to m, m2 is also equals to m. See, the mass of three blocks are same. Assume m1 is equals to m2 is equals to m3 is equals to m. That means all three blocks have the same mass. Okay. And we have to find out the acceleration. So before that, just make a note. This is a theoretical note. Okay. Friction force is independent of surface area and dependent on mu s and normal force. That means friction force has nothing to do with surface area. Has nothing to do with the surface area of contact. Friction force is only dependent on mu s, which is a property of the type of surfaces they are interacting with, and normal reaction force. What do I mean by this? Suppose this block, suppose this plastic surface was made up of the same material as this surface. The friction theory says that if I keep the block like this, okay, the amount of friction force applied in the backward direction is same as the amount of friction force applied in the backward direction. It does not depend the amount of surface area in contact. Okay, it does not depend on the surface area of contact. It only depends on the type of surface, which is given by mu Okay, and normal reaction force. That means if I press it too hard, the friction force will be more hard. Okay. So let's come back to the problem. Okay, let's draw the FBT of block A. This is our block A. Okay, this is our block B. This is our block C. Okay. So drawing the FBT of block A, mass is M, downward force is mg, upward force is T, and downward acceleration is A. Okay. With block B, slightly little bit up. With block B, this is M. Okay. See this block B. See this block B. On the left, it is being pulled by T. And since it is trying to accelerate on the left, friction force will be acting towards the right. Mu n. It is already slipping, no? That means maximum value of friction force will be applied. Now see this string. I assume the tension in this string to be T1. That means on the right it is being pulled by T1. And let's say block C. M T1, this block C. This is the block C. T1 is pulling it towards the left, and friction force will stop the body from moving. Or since the body is already slipping with acceleration n, the value of friction force is mu n, or the maximum available. Okay. By now I know n is equals to mg. This n and this n gets substituted by mg. Okay, I assume you have practiced enough so that I can do this. Okay. Now let's draw this two diagram. Let's solve equation B and C together. Okay. From B, T minus T1 minus mu mg is equals to ma. From equation C, T1 minus mu mg is equals to ma. So this T1 gets cut. T minus 2 mu mg, okay, is equals to 2 ma. So this is our combined equation of B and C. Now see, let's see the equation from A. From equation A, mg minus T is equals to ma. Now if we combine these two equations, let's see what do we get. I think I have given the wrong. If we combine these two equations, let's see what we get. Okay. T minus 2 mu mg is equals to 2 ma. Or minus T plus T gets cancelled. Or mg minus 2 mu mg is equals to 3 ma. Okay, but this m gets cancelled by this m and this m. Okay, so if we try to solve it, if we try to solve this equation, let's copy paste this equation. I'm just copy pasting this, so don't get afraid. All these are unnecessary. All these are unnecessary. So if you try to solve this, or g minus 2 mu g is equals to 3a, or a is equals to, I take the g common from the left hand side, 1 minus 2 mu, in the right hand side we get 3, so we divided by 3. So this is our correct option, g into 1 minus 2 mu by 3. So our correct option is D, sorry not D, C, g into 1 minus 2 mu by 3. Okay, this is the type of silly mistakes I usually made. Okay, now this question, treat this question as a theory. Okay, this question is theoretical in nature. a heavy uniform chain lies on a horizontal tabletop. If the coefficient of friction between the chain and the table is 0.25, then the maximum friction of length of chain that can be hanged over the edge of table is. That means what is happening out here is, there is a table, there is a chain lying out here. Okay, and the coefficient of friction between the chain and the table is given as mu, or mu is equals to 0.25. Now what is the maximum value of length, this length, okay, so that the table, so that the chain does not slip off the table. See, if I made the chain and I just one bead is hanging over here and the remaining bead is hanging over here, I can easily say the chain falls off. Okay, I can easily visualize the chain falls off. Or else, if the opposite scenario was made, suppose this was length of the chain and just one out here, that means the chain stays as it is. So the question is asking, what is the maximum value of x out here? What is the maximum value of length this chain can have so that it does not fall off the table? Okay. So let assume this length be x and this length be y. The length of the entire chain is L. The length of the entire chain is L. So let the length of chain be L. Okay. Let the mass of this chain be M. That means let the total mass of this chain be M. Let the total mass of the chain be M. Okay. Therefore, mass per unit length. That means if the total length of the mass or total length of the chain is M, total mass of the chain is M, and the total length of the chain is L. Suppose this chain was 10 meters and it consisted of 10 kg. 10 kg chain of 10 meters. So someone says, what is the length of 1 meter of chain? I can easily say 1 kg per meter. Okay. So what do? We divide the entire mass by entire length. So what is the per unit length? Per unit length means per unit meter. What is the per unit meter mass of this chain? Okay. So mass per unit length. Mass per unit length of the chain. So mass per unit length of the chain is given by, suppose say rho, or you don't need to, is given by rho. But how do we find out rho? Mass per unit length is equals to total mass divided by total length. Okay. So that means mass of 1 meter of this chain of length is equals to M by L. Okay. Mass of 1 meter of this chain, okay, is equals to M by L kg. Understood? Up till here, this is the concept. Okay. I just introduced a term rho called what is the mass per unit length or mass per unit meter of the chain. Okay. Now, in the next body, this was our chain. Okay. This was X, this was Y, X length, Y length, and the total length of chain is equals to L. And mass per unit length or mass per meter of the chain of length is equals to M by L kg. Now, can I convert this part or X part into a separate body? Can I convert this chain into, suppose this X part is accumulated out here, assumed out here, and this Y part is assumed out here, and they are being pulled by a massless rope. Okay, so the mass falls when X is greater than Y. Okay, or X, when X comes down, that means Y goes to the right hand side. So can I substitute this much length by a mass out here and this much length by a mass out here? Okay, but how do I distribute the mass? The mass distribution is applied by the formula per unit length or per unit meter of this mass of chain length was m by L. So what if the per meter length of this chain weigh m by L kg? What is the weight of x meter? What is the weight of x meter? If 1 meter mass is, not weight, weight is a very dirty word out here. If 1 meter mass is m by L kg, what is the weight of x meter? Similarly, x meter weight is m by L into x. So if I assume this much portion as a mass out here, that means the mass of this much portion would be m by L into x. M by L into x. Similarly, the mass of this much portion would, out here would be m by L into y. M by L into y. Okay. Now, okay. Now this coefficient of friction was given by 0.25. Now out here friction force gets applied. A friction force is mu n. Out here the body just starts slipping. That means A is equals to 0, but nonetheless it introduces maximum value of friction force. And out here acceleration downwards is equals to 0. Okay. So now let's draw the FBD. Let's draw the free body diagram. Free body diagram of this block or block A. This is block A. This is block A. So free body diagram of block A. M by Ly and out here is equals to mu n. Can I substitute n by m, this mass, or mu m by L y into g? This is the value of friction force. How? The friction maximum value of friction force is mu n. Okay. Out here normal reaction force is acting on the table. Out here weight of this block is m by L into y. This is the mass into gravitational acceleration. So can I substitute this n out here? Okay. So the value of mu n becomes mu into m by L y g. Okay. And on the right hand side we have a tension force. Okay. And acceleration is equals to 0 because the body is just starting to slip. Now for body B. Okay. Downward force is mass, which is equals to m by Lx into acceleration due to gravity, and upward is tension, and the body is accelerating downwards with acceleration 0. Okay. So now let's copy these two, and the weight of this block is m by L into x. Now let's copy these two to the next page. Now, from this equation of A, I can easily say that T minus mu m by L y into g is equals to 0. Okay. from the equation of A. From the equation of B, I can say that m by L x g, m by L x, which is the mass of this block, into g minus t is equals to 0. So this t and this t gets cancelled. Okay. So we get m by L x g minus mu m by L y g is equals to 0. Okay. Now see the question. What is the question asking? Then the length of the chain that can be hung over the edge of the table is. That means they are asking what is the length of this x. They are asking us the value of x. Okay. Or using this equation, m by L xg minus mu m by L yg is equals to 0. So if I shift this to the right hand side, we get m by L xg is equals to mu m by L yg. So m by L gets cancelled, g gets cancelled, or x equals to mu y. Okay. Now x is equals to mu y we obtained from this. And see from this diagram, can I say if this length is y and this length is x and the total length is L, can I say x plus y is equals to L? X plus y is equals to L. Okay. So can I say y is equals to L minus x? I can say y is equals to L minus x. So this y out here can be substituted by y is equals to L minus x, or x equals to mu into L minus x. Okay. Or mu is given out here by mu is equals to 0.25. X is equals to 0.25 L minus x. Okay. So when you solve this, it comes as 1.25 x is equals to 0.25 L. Okay. 0.25 L. Or x is equals to L by 5. Okay. So this x, see, x is equals to L by 5 out here. X is equals to L by 5. So now let's see. This x was 1/5 or L by 5, or 1/5 of the total length of this whole chain. So this y was, if this was 1/5, this was 4/5. Okay, because 4 by 5 L plus L by 5 is equals to L. Okay, now you have to convert this 1/5 of the length into percentage, because our option is given in percentage. Okay, not in terms of fraction. So how do we convert fraction into percentage? 1 by 5 should be converted into percentage. So to convert any fraction into percentage, we multiply by 100 or 20%. So that means our correct option is A. That means 20% of the total length. 20% of the total length can be hung from the table so that the chain does not slip off. Okay, if it is greater than 20%, the chain automatically starts slipping down. Okay, so these are the end for Newton's law of motion and friction. In the next chapter, we will start more about work energy theory.